Have you ever started your morning thinking it's just another ordinary day, only to find yourself feeling strangely drained before the clock even hits noon? You're not alone. A gentleman named Richard once sat across from me, his eyes tired, his voice low. He was 68, a retired engineer, and he leaned in and whispered as if confessing a crime, "Doc, I don't understand. I start my mornings the same way I have for years, but lately, I feel like I'm running on empty before breakfast." I smiled gently and asked him one simple question, "Richard, tell me exactly how you're starting your mornings." And that's when the truth slipped out. Like so many men his age, Richard had fallen into habits formed decades ago, habits he never questioned because, frankly, no one ever told him they might be doing more harm than good. That morning ritual? Masturbation. Not the act itself, but how and when he was doing it was quietly working against his body, his heart, and even his sense of vitality. You see, after 60, your body operates on a different rhythm. What once felt like harmless relief in your younger years now carries consequences that sneak up quietly. The first hidden danger comes from something most men don't even think twice about, jumping straight into self-pleasure immediately after waking up, often before even hydrating or getting their blood flowing. When your body is still in a state of low circulation, dehydrated from hours of sleep, and your heart isn't yet fully active, forcing arousal and climax puts an immediate strain on your cardiovascular system. Think about it. Your heart has just spent the night resting. Your blood vessels haven't fully dilated to handle increased activity, and yet, here you are, pushing your body toward a physical peak before it's even properly awake. It's like trying to drive a cold engine at full speed the moment you turn the key. And just like that engine, something inside starts to wear down faster than it should. I've had patients describe it perfectly without realizing the cause. They say, "Doc, I feel lightheaded after, my chest feels tight sometimes, and I just don't recover like I used to." And that's the body trying to tell you, this isn't the right time. Your heart needs a gentle start to the day, not an immediate demand for performance. But it's not just the timing that matters. There's another layer to this, something most men never notice until it's too late. It's about what's happening mentally during those quiet early hours. Many older men fall into the habit of starting their mornings with a quick, mechanical release, not out of joy, but out of habit, boredom, or even a subtle sense of loneliness. And when this becomes routine, day after day, the brain starts associating mornings not with energy and optimism, but with a brief moment of distraction followed by lingering fatigue. I've often asked my patients, "Tell me how you feel afterward." And the responses are almost always the same, tired, a little empty, not quite ready to face the day. That's because rushing into climax before your nervous system is balanced sends your body into a quick hormonal spike, followed by a sharp drop. Your dopamine hits hard and fast, but then it crashes, leaving you more fatigued than before. The very act that should bring relaxation ends up stealing your morning energy and motivation. And yet, there's an even deeper, more subtle mistake at play. Most men, especially after 60, don't realize that their sensitivity has changed. They try to chase the same level of stimulation they had in their 30s and 40s, not realizing that their nervous system now responds differently. In the quiet of the morning, they often use more pressure, more force, trying to recreate feelings that no longer come as easily. This creates a dangerous loop. More force leads to more numbness over time, and more numbness requires even greater effort to feel anything at all. Richard admitted this to me with a sigh. "I don't feel much anymore, document. So I just try harder." But here's the truth most men need to hear. Trying harder is not the solution. Trying differently is. And this brings us to the first critical adjustment. Before you even think about self-pleasure in the morning, ask yourself if you've properly prepared your body and mind. Have you stretched? Have you hydrated? Have you allowed your heart and circulation to gently wake up? These small acts make a world of difference. Because when your body is fully awake, your experience will change. You'll feel more with less effort. You'll connect instead of chase. As Richard made this one small change, delaying his morning habit until after a light walk and a tall glass of water, something remarkable happened. His words still stay with me. He said, "Doc, for the first time in years, I actually felt something again. And I wasn't exhausted afterward." It's such a simple shift, but it sets the foundation for everything that comes next. Because if the timing is wrong, everything else will feel off balance too. And that imbalance doesn't just affect your mornings, it ripples through your entire day. And while this first mistake is about when you do it, the next hidden mistake is about where, a private habit that seems harmless but slowly undermines your health in ways you might never expect. You see, Richard wasn't alone in making that first mistake, and what's even more surprising is where this habit often takes place. Over the years, I've heard the same quiet confession from countless men, usually shared in hushed tones as if admitting to something shameful. The bathroom has become their sanctuary. Not just for hygiene, but for their most private moments. And more often than not, the toilet becomes the place where this deeply personal ritual unfolds. At first glance, it feels harmless, private, convenient, a door you can lock behind you. But what most older men don't realize is that this seemingly innocent habit is quietly causing more harm than they can imagine. Sitting on the toilet while engaging in self-pleasure creates a perfect storm of poor posture, restricted circulation, and unnecessary pressure on some of the most sensitive and fragile areas of the aging body. Picture the position. Hunched over, shoulders collapsed forward, your lower abdomen compressed. In that posture, your pelvic floor, the very group of muscles responsible for supporting your prostate, bladder, and sexual function, is under strain. Blood flow to your pelvic region is restricted, your nerves are pinched, and your prostate is quietly being squeezed in a way it was never designed to endure. I can't count the number of men who've come to me later in life struggling with issues they never connected to this simple habit. Post-urination dribbling, difficulty fully emptying the bladder, strange sensations of pelvic heaviness, and even discomfort during intimacy. They chalked it up to aging, to bad luck, or to inevitable decline. But when we trace back the patterns, that daily morning ritual on the toilet often stood at the center of it all. Your body has a remarkable way of adapting to how you use it. If you train it every day to associate arousal and release with poor posture and restricted circulation, it starts to forget what healthy function feels like. Over time, your pelvic floor weakens. Your nerves grow less responsive. And the foundation of your intimate life, your ability to feel, to connect, to enjoy, begins to crumble silently. But here's the good news. The solution isn't complicated. It doesn't require expensive treatments or complicated exercises. It begins simply with awareness. Ask yourself, is the space I choose for this most personal of moments helping or hurting me? Give your body room to breathe. Stand. Recline comfortably. Lay back if possible and allow your pelvic region to relax, not tighten. These subtle changes create space for healthy circulation, for the nerves to remain alive and responsive, and for your body to maintain the strength it needs to support you in ways that go far beyond the moment of pleasure. When Richard made this second small change, leaving the bathroom behind and finding a more open, comfortable space, he couldn't believe the difference. His words were simple but powerful. "Doc," he said, "I didn't realize how much tension I'd been holding until I let it go. For the first time, it actually felt good again." That's the forgotten power of intentional space. It doesn't just change how your body feels. It changes the emotions tied to the experience. And that brings us to a mistake even more insidious, one that slips into the fabric of your daily life without warning, the habit of rushing through the experience like it's nothing more than a task to cross off your list. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself, "Let me just get this over with"? It's almost mechanical, isn't it? Fast, disconnected, done without thought or care. But here's the problem. Your body, especially after 60, no longer responds well to this kind of urgency. Your nervous system craves relaxation, not pressure. Your heart and blood vessels need time to ease into arousal, not be pushed toward a rushed finish line. When you hurry through these moments, you're sending a very clear message to your body. This isn't about feeling, it's about finishing. And in response, your body begins to shut down the very sensations you're seeking. Pleasure becomes shallow. Sensitivity fades. And even when you reach climax, it feels empty, like something's missing, even if you can't quite put your finger on what. I've had men sit across from me, their frustration heavy in the air. "Doc, I finish, but it's like nothing happens. I don't feel satisfied, and I'm even more tired than before." That's the cost of treating pleasure like a chore rather than a celebration of life and vitality. Your body remembers how you teach it to experience pleasure. If you train it for speed and disconnection, that's all it will know. But if you slow down, if you allow yourself to breathe, to be present, to truly feel each moment, you'll rediscover something powerful. The kind of satisfaction that doesn't drain you but fills you up. The kind that leaves you standing taller, breathing easier, and feeling alive again. Richard told me that slowing down felt awkward at first. Decades of habit don't disappear overnight. But as he leaned into the discomfort, something changed. He smiled when he said, "Doc, for the first time, it didn't feel like a race. It felt like I was really there, really feeling my body again." And isn't that what we all want? Not just to go through the motions, but to feel fully alive, fully present, fully connected to the experience. That's not just about pleasure, it's about reclaiming your vitality. And while slowing down changes everything, there's still one hidden key to unlock the kind of control and strength most men don't even realize they've lost. It's a part of the body almost no one talks about, yet it holds the secret to stronger function, greater confidence, and even better health long after 60. It always surprises me how few men know about the power held in a part of their body they've carried with them their entire lives, mostly unnoticed and untrained, the pelvic floor. Hidden beneath the surface, this network of muscles is like a silent guardian, supporting everything from your bladder control to the strength of your erections and even the quality of your orgasms. And yet, year after year, most men never pay it a moment's thought, until it starts to fail them. By the time I meet them, many have already started noticing the slow but undeniable changes, minor leaks after urination, weaker erections that don't seem to hold like they used to, a dull ache in the lower abdomen that refuses to go away. And the worst part? They often believe it's just the natural price of aging. But what they don't realize is that this decline isn't inevitable. It's a muscle system, like any other, that weakens when neglected and grows stronger when cared for. One of my patients, Thomas, a proud 70-year-old who still played tennis twice a week, sat in my office one afternoon and said, "Doc, I'm doing everything right. I eat clean, I exercise, but why is this part of my life slipping away?" I asked him the same question I now ask you. When was the last time you thought about strengthening the very muscles responsible for those intimate moments? Thomas blinked in surprise, and that's when I introduced him to something every man over 60 should know, the simple practice of engaging his pelvic floor, often known as Kegel exercises. This isn't about lifting heavy weights or running marathons. It's about subtle, deliberate control. Imagine the muscles you would tighten to stop the flow of urine midstream. That's your pelvic floor at work. Learning to gently contract and release those muscles during moments of arousal, or even during the day as a form of quiet training, can rebuild strength you thought was lost forever. Over time, this simple habit restores control, improves circulation to the area, and can even heighten the intensity of your climax. Thomas called me 6 weeks later, his voice lighter, his confidence restored. "Doc," he laughed, "I feel like I've taken back a part of myself I thought was gone for good." And that's exactly the point. This isn't about chasing some version of your younger self. It's about reclaiming the control and satisfaction that belong to you right now. But even when the body starts to respond, there's still one critical mistake that can quietly undo all the progress you've made. It has nothing to do with technique and everything to do with how often you engage with this part of your life. And believe it or not, both doing it too often, or not often enough, can be equally harmful. You see, many older men fall into one of two extremes. Some, perhaps out of boredom or emotional escape, overindulge to the point that their bodies barely have time to recover. Their energy fades, their prostate becomes irritated, and what once felt pleasurable begins to feel more like a mindless habit. Others withdraw completely. Whether out of guilt, health concerns, or the quiet belief that this chapter of life is over, they stop entirely. But just like any system in your body, your sexual function needs regular, balanced activity to stay alive and well. Think of it like a garden. If you flood it with water every day, the roots drown. If you neglect it entirely, the soil dries and hardens. But with the right balance, everything flourishes. For most men over 60, finding that sweet spot, perhaps 1 to 2 times per week, approached with mindfulness and care, is enough to maintain circulation, support hormonal rhythms, and keep the nervous system responsive. It's not about frequency for the sake of it. It's about connection, about listening to what your body truly needs and honoring that without judgment. And yet, even with perfect timing, a comfortable space, the right pacing, and balanced frequency, there's still one final mistake that can quietly strip all the joy and vitality from this most human of experiences. It's the mistake of treating intimacy, even with yourself, as nothing more than a mechanical act, void of emotion, intention, or presence. This is perhaps the most heartbreaking mistake of all. When I sit with men who confess, often through tears they never expected to shed, that they no longer feel connected to their own bodies, I hear the deeper pain. It's not just about lost pleasure, it's about lost identity, lost connection, lost meaning. When you touch yourself without emotion, without gratitude, without even a moment of presence, you train your nervous system to experience pleasure as something shallow and fleeting. And over time, your body responds accordingly. You might still climax, but it feels empty. You might still function, but something inside feels missing. But here's the truth you need to remember: it's never too late to bring back meaning, no matter how long it's been. Even moments of solitary intimacy can become sacred, healing rituals if you let them. Touch yourself not out of boredom or habit, but as an act of care, a reminder that this body, this incredible, aging, still beautiful body, is yours, and it still deserves to be honored. Breathe deeply. Slow down. Let yourself feel every sensation, not just physically, but emotionally. And in doing so, you'll rediscover something many men believe is lost forever: the quiet, powerful joy of being fully alive, fully connected, and fully at peace with who you are. So, as we bring this journey to a close, let me leave you with this: the real danger of these 7 silent mistakes isn't just in how they harm your body, but in how they slowly disconnect you from your own sense of vitality, from the quiet pride of knowing that even now, at this stage of life, you can feel deeply, love fully, and live with joy. If this message has touched something inside you today, I want you to remember, your best years are not behind you. They live in every mindful choice you make from this moment forward. And if you're willing, right here and right now, to believe that change is possible, to believe that connection is still within your reach, then my friend, you've already taken the most important step. Take a moment now, type a simple one in the comments if this message resonated with you. And if you're ready to reclaim this part of your life with pride, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share it with another man who may be quietly carrying these same questions. Here's to you, your strength, your wisdom, and the vibrant life still waiting to unfold. You are not done. You're just getting started.